Number one, a couple of weeks ago, it was claimed that a truck driver made a white power sign at a Black Lives Matter protest as he was driving by. The mob went into action. Of course, the man was fired. Well, now he's speaking out. This guy that supposedly did a white power sign at a Black Lives Matter protest, explaining that he never made a white power sign. He was cracking his knuckles as he drove by. And there are other details as well about this guy that I think are relevant. So watch this local news report on it.
It's scary that you can be charged, tried, and convicted on social media without your permission, with no corroborating evidence of any type.
A local SDG&E worker has been fired after allegations of racism were made against him. Now he's speaking exclusively to NBC7 about what he calls a major misunderstanding. He says his employer jumped to conclusions and he should not have lost his job. Priya Shrithar has the story.
It all started about 2 weeks ago near a Black Lives Matter rally in Poway. Emmanuel Cafferty says he had an interaction with a member of the public that later got posted on Twitter. He says shortly after he was fired by his employer, SDG&E.
This was the tweet that Emmanuel Cafferty says started it all. It shows an SDG&E worker making a hand gesture that some say is a white supremacist sign.
When my supervisor said that I was being accused of doing a white supremacist gesture, that was baffling.
Cafferty is the man in the picture and says he had no idea what the symbol meant. He was just cracking his knuckles. But shortly after, he was informed that he was suspended by SDG&E pending an investigation, and a few days later, he was fired.
I do that a lot when I'm driving. It has no racist intent behind it, and I was confident that I would be able to, with my character, show SDG&E that I'm not a racist.
According to the Anti-Defamation League, this hand sign has been used in recent years by white supremacists as a white power gesture. But a post on the organization's website says that it is also widely used as a sign signifying approval and therefore shouldn't be assumed to be a white supremacy symbol unless there's other evidence to support those claims.
I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over this. But to lose your dream job for playing with your fingers, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Okay, so this is, and we have to appreciate the Anti-Defamation League explaining to us what the OK sign means. And this, how many times we have to go through this? The OK sign is not a white power sign and never was. That was an internet hoax. I think that was 4chan made that up. And they're still going with it. Oh, but at least they'll admit that, sometimes people can do that and not mean anything by it. Sometimes. But, it could be that they're white supremacists. So this was a completely innocent man. Speaking of innocent man, being accused of things, that's sort of the theme here. Just a normal guy, just a guy doing his job. Now he's unemployed. He's reviled as a racist because someone caught him making an offensive shape with his fingers. Meanwhile, he's not even white. You saw the guy, right? He's Mexican. This is a Mexican American. Okay, a man of Mexican descent. He's fired from his job for being a white supremacist, and he's Mexican. How did that conversation go? When his cowardly employers pulled him in and said, yes, sorry, we have to let you go for being a white supremacist. Yeah, but I'm not white, though. I'm not. Yes, but you're a suspected white supremacist. I'm not. You see, not white. This here, I literally cannot be a white supremacist. It's impossible. It is actually impossible. I am not white. You see everything going on here. Non-whiteness. I imagine I hope the conversation went something like that anyway. This is just, it's collective insanity. We've fallen into collective hysteria. It's you can't reason your way out of it anymore. If we're firing a guy because he was cracking his knuckles in an offensive way and saying that it makes him a suspected white supremacist, even though he's Mexican. Yeah, okay. Where do you go from there? You can't argue against that. It's not like someone who would defend that. You can't present an argument to them that's going to change their mind. This is someone, in order to argue against someone, in order to present an argument to someone, They have to have a functioning brain that they're willing to use. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people in our country that don't have functioning brains, or at least are not willing to use them if they do. And so there's nothing you could say to them. Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative outlets in the entire country. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and then subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our content.